Let me tell you something. Bravo is no longer just giving us drama. They're giving us full-on criminal case files, emotional therapy sessions, and unhinged presentations at hair spas. Episode 5 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, baby. I am not the same after watching. We've got twirls, threats, receipts, and a woman being escorted off the show. So grab your snacks because reality right after starts now. Joining me today is someone whose mic skills are unmatched, whose street interviews are going viral for all the right reasons. He's the creative force behind Hopeless Romantic Society and a voice you need to know. Welcome to the show, Jahad Carter.
Hi, everyone. Thank you
How
so
are
much for
you?
having me. I'm good. Can we talk about the positives first about, Real Housewives? Because you made it seem like it was like Dateline.
No. We're definitely gonna get into some things. But you gotta give the people what they want. And rounding out the panel is an advertising powerhouse who's always brings the reads, the receipts, and the realness. She's a reality TV commentator and a contributor to No Chaser TV. Give it up for TORI B.
Woo!
Hey, can't wait to chat because this was a mess.
Honey, listen. The Real Housewives of Atlanta this season is going through one of its. For the last 3 seasons, we've been saying that these have been monumental seasons for the show, whether it's going to be a make it or break it, whether it's going to be like after this season, we don't know where the show is going to go. But
Right.
seriously, this season, for the first time, it actually does feel like, okay, we have hit the line. And if we don't hit a home run with this season, we might not see the next. So are you guys enjoying season 16, Jahad?
I don't know. Let's talk about Shamia. She is my shining light for this season. I feel like when I see her, she gives me classic, season 1, season 2, season 3 vibes. It's just something about her. She pulls up to Kenya's little event in her little cardigan. Like she looks like a mom. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she's hilarious and like her little one-liners. And let's talk about she's bringing the money. The money
We're
is
gonna get into
there.
all of that.
The glam is there. So far, I'm enjoying the season. Last week was crazy. The pistol conversation.
Ooh, a
That's
lot.
love and hip hop, as people have said, but I
Listen,
digress.
Tori, what about you? Are you liking the season so far overall?
I will say again, like it was already said, Shamia was a best casting decision this
Period.
season.
Hmm.
And I am enjoying Kelly and Angela.
Okay.
More than I thought I
Okay.
would. More than I thought I
Right.
would.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a basketball fan, so I knew of Angela's husband because I'm a Knicks fan.
Did you
So,
now?
Oh, you
yeah,
got a
so
baby by
I
him
was
too? Oh, that was too much.
No, but he's legendary in New York, so I have so much respect for Charles. And then Shamia Clockett is a tourist like me, so I knew she was going to be a great addition.
Period.
No, she had the coins the way she was.
Well, she got him, honey. All right, so we open up with Shamia hosting a little post-bank party brunch situation. And listen, the tension is simmering, not sizzling. But Britt and Angela are clearly still shook over what happened at the bank party. Angela shows up after all the drama at the bank party. She's gracious, thanks Shamia for inviting her, and appreciates them moving forward after the little situation at the Beaumont event. Britt walks in, clearly still shaken, says she didn't sleep at all. Like she didn't sleep at all, according to her. She could not sleep. Oh my God. Neither did Angela. I don't know why. But she says that she got backlash from the venue itself because of the whole situation. And Britt saying that she got a pistol and that I got whips. And Listen, it was so many type of firearms being brought up that I guess the venue was like, "What is this, honey? We already in the hood. Now y'all cannot be coming in here
Ah,
talking about bullets and whips and all of this stuff going on." Brit's main issue with Kenya, she feels cut off and dismissed by Kenya. Angela reminds us that she was the one who wrote the spicy questions at the dinner party. Brit stands firm. She has no ill intent towards Kenya and she's planning to make it right. Shamia gives her a little truth with humor, saying, "Listen, honey, you went kind of low with Kenya at the party, so you're gonna have to let her get her licks in. Like you're gonna have to let Kenya throw some shade and get back to plane level with you after you were propositioning pistols and whips." Was this a real moment of accountability for Brit or just performance cleanup, Jahad?
HR, you know, don't you work for them, or do they know that you work for them?
I
Did
don't. I don't.
HR?
I no.
Oh,
I
okay,
do
you're
not work
not
for
an
Bravo.
association. No, sorry, but HR seemed like they got involved. That's what it
Hmm.
seemed like to me. It seemed why she couldn't go to sleep at night because Kenya got he called her a peasant. You know, I've been called worse. Like since this morning, and I sleep great at night. If you that bad, how didn't you get no sleep? I don't understand
Right.
that. Angela, I can understand why Angela got backlash from the restaurant because people die every day in this country. And
Mm-hmm.
you talking about some, I got a pistol. She just didn't give you any energy. Like, how could you, like, say you're going to wave your pistol around, whatever the case may be, to someone who's not acknowledging your rant? It just gave weird. But that's all I'll say.
Sorry.
Yes, so this is just very unfortunate. I didn't see any behaviors leading up to this from Kenya's part that required her to say anything of that nature to her. And
Mm.
what are you going to do with a whip? You going to whip her? I
And
thought
also,
that was very strange.
that was very strange. And someone on Twitter also pointed out, like, also, can we talk about the fact that, like a lighter skinned woman was telling a darker skinned woman that I have a whip for you? Like, it's just weird stuff. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, for me, Kenya's better than me. Because if you mentioning pow pows, you better have one on you at that moment. No,
That's what I mean.
let's be real. Like, if you're gonna talk about it,
Yeah.
That's a threat.
Yeah.
that is a serious threat, especially a whip. Who in 2025 have whips outside of the bedroom?
That's
Now,
weird.
if I was Brit, if I was her, because she should have said, "Well, we was in the hood, and Kelly did say like we should go outside, and whatever the case may be." And I said, "I'm not scared to go outside in the hood. I got a gun." Like to say that if she wanted to be a liar and say she wouldn't talk about Kenya, she could have did that. No shade, because I could kind of see her saying that.
You just gave the girl a line, honey.
I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
I almost went to law school. I can help these girls with a little bit, you know.
um, did you feel like she took accountability, Tori?
No.
Mm.
And I'm gonna take it a step further. When all of this came out on the internet, um, she ran to the internet and said that Kenya hazed her, and Kenya did all. We didn't see any of that footage.
Right.
We're all looking like, are we missing something? Because it doesn't make sense. You're saying she hazed you, she didn't acknowledge you, she did all these things to you, and all she did was ask you a question about your ring. I didn't see
Mm-hmm.
anything wrong with that. If you're married, you usually have an engagement ring and a wedding band.
Right.
That's it. I mean, I didn't see
It's
any.
no tea, it's no shade. It's just what
Right,
you're supposed to be having on your hand.
right.
Well, and
And
I guess I didn't
so
even get that shade,
there's none.
honestly, to me. I didn't really get the shade
None.
when Kenya said it. I didn't really get that. So she only has
I
one wedding band?
so the
She
girl
has
the
engagement.
girl she got the engagement ring, but it's missing the wedding band, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So she just had her engagement ring on. So Kenya was asking, like, are you married or single, whatever? Because, you know, if you're married, you will have both. And then she took it as shade, as in, like, you're trying to clock me. If I'm married, you're the one going through a divorce. This is the second ring, honey. He already got me an upgrade to my first ring. Mind you, they've only been married for a year.
So what's some tea there? Because why did it touch her that hard? That little ring comment. Why did it touch? There's some tea there that's extra personal for you that you got mad, and she was really sweet to you for the rest of the season. I was glad that when Kenya, I know we're talking about the last episode, when Kenya came over and hugged Drew, but she kind of gave her a little air hug, and then she did the same thing to her. Like it wasn't. I hope she felt a little silly.
No, but I think it's also important to, like, you know, like you're doing right now, painting the picture, because even after the whole ring situation, they went upstairs to discuss the Portia and Drew of it
Right,
all. And Kenya was sitting next to Britt, and she was talking to Britt. She
right,
was trying to make sense of the conversation, even after that ring situation. So
right,
actually, like, I was saying this in a previous episode of Reality right after. If Kenya doesn't fuck with you, she's not gonna give you the time of day.
right.
So if she was being friendly with you in scene, just trying to make sense of what's happening between Portia and Drew, then she really has no issue with you like that. No shade.
Right. And I guess this not to go against Kenya in this moment, but some well also they had put online when she was talking to Brandon about one of their trips that they was going on, I think season 5 or season 6. And then she said, well, I could bring my gun, and she was holding it out. And
Yeah.
while she was not in Phaedra's presence, she was speaking of her on a national platform, I guess in the same kind of ways. I mean, Britt was just a little bit more like, I got a pistol, and she was like 5 feet away. So that is
Right.
spooky because you can
And
harm me right
also,
now. But
and no shade, I don't know you, so I don't really know if you actually are a ghetto bitch that walks around with a pistol.
right,
Yes, absolutely. I don't put nothing past nobody.
You know, like,
No.
but did Britt even really talk about why she said that?
well, let's get into the rest of the episode. Just as the dust settles from one mess, another little breadcrumb starts shaking the table. Angela, ma'am, you might want to check those DMs after all, honey. Because Portia's messy comment is floating, and Angela hits us with the my DMs are flooded flex, instead of actually answering, while we've been trying to figure out about her husband. Shamia presses Angela about Portia's I know something about Charles comment, and Angela didn't ask him about it. Her response is, I am married to a celebrity. My DMs are flooded as well. There's not a lot that could rock that boat. She says she's unbothered, but some may say that she's trying really hard not to be. Do you think Angela is actually being unbothered or just avoiding the smoke when it comes to Charles?
What you think, Tori? Because you said you know him.
Child, listen. I mean, women throw themselves at athletes, former athletes. Charles has a couple of car washes in New York, in the New York area. Like,
Are
I
you a
would not.
patron?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. But I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if women would still be throwing themselves at him. I'm pretty sure he still travels and goes to games. So even though he's been retired for some time now, I wouldn't be surprised.
Why does
Going
it
down to
matter?
get a going down to get a full service and trying to
Uh,
catch Charles. Child. What were you saying, Jahan?
well, I was going to ask, like, do you know why Madison Square Garden don't like him?
Oh yeah, I know that reason. So without going too much into it, New Yorkers do not like the owner of MSG, and he's not a very nice person. I'm not gonna go
Mm.
as far as to say the R word,
Mm.
but Charles is a very uh strong man and has strong opinions, and he stands 10 toes down on it, which is
Mm.
probably why New Yorkers love him.
Mm.
And he just does not like Charles and try to have him removed. Like, he's a legend. He's
But,
a legend. You should treat him
so
with
how?
respect. And they practically, he sent like not one security guard, multiple, to escort him out, and that was embarrassing in the middle of a game.
But what does that got to do with the relationship with Angela? Like, why did they have to take a break after that? Because he was like depressed, or he was going through it, or
That
like,
is,
that is the gag that everybody's talking about, because a lot of people are trying to kind of like connect the dots in between. Like, there is this child that came from that situation around that time. So how does something that happened at MSG between your husband and, you know, his colleagues turn into separation and a baby?
she giving PR? She giving PR associate, and honestly, I feel like Charles, he ready to let it hang all out there. Y'all don't think so? I feel like it's more so Angela. She's the front, and Charles like, well,
I really
that's
hope
what
that
it's
he's
given
not
to
trying.
me.
I really hope that he's not trying to, because honestly, coming on reality television to let it all hang out there after being private is kind of such a dumb decision to do.
but did you? She said she was asked multiple times to become.
I mean,
a
I'm
housewife.
sure.
Ah.
I'm sure.
She said people still care about it right now. Hold on, gotta give it a couple of years.
Yeah, I think Charles
Okay.
was the reason that they didn't do it, but I don't know why all of a sudden now is the time. So
Bills, maybe money. The check
mean,
might be needed. No
she takes care
shade.
of her family. She said she takes care of her family, you know, so I guess
Listen, I'm a
if
check
the money's right.
where the money reside. Now from whispers and warnings to a full-on armed security, Kenya Moore Hair Spa is open for business, but make no mistake, this is less about the edges and more about enemies, because Kenya is not over about that bank party and what went down there. Kenya, Portia, and Kelly meet up to prep for the grand opening of the Kenya Moore Hair Spa. Kenya has security on site because she don't know, girl, she might get attacked. There's pistols and there's whips out to get her. So she has security on site because she's not playing no games. Kenya makes it clear Brit wasn't personally invited by her, but I find it funny that Portia was like, well, you also didn't disinvite her, right? So it's kind of, you know, like she's still going to show up. They're already laying down the groundwork for production to still bring Brit to the event. Portia wants the tea on Brit's pistol comment. Kenya shuts it down. She says, and I quote, "There was nothing I did or ever said to her that would have warranted that kind of clownery." Kelly tries to defend Brit a little bit, says that behavior is out of character and that she's never seen Brit behave in this manner ever, and that, you know, they should try to talk. And Kenya's not budging. She's twirling, literally and figuratively, because she trolled out of the salon talking about, I'm twirling on my haters. It's cute to see this Kenya. I mean, the salon looks beautiful. Like,
It
let's
gives
just say that.
luxury.
It gives lux.
luxury.
I find
Like-
it interesting that it's having a hard time bringing in people.
Oof. How you gonna talk about the business like that way? Like, let's back up. Can we first say, before we talk about the business failing, let's talk about how it
It looks
the web-
gorgeous.
is the website really down? I'm sorry, it was really hitting me.
Wait, hold on. Let me just, I mean, I could check on air right now. Kenya Moore.
They said the
Hair
website
Spa.
was down.
Just made another move by hiring a
Child?
Don't say that. She hired an influencer, a hair influencer, to help her with business.
What day was that?
That was announced last week. And this is
Okay.
like a New York base. Well, she used to be in New York. Now she's in Atlanta. And so I know of her. And so
They got an
everybody was
Instagram
talking about-
page?
Yeah, you should. Oh my God.
Maybe maybe it's just down for right now, and like they're
Maybe
having like a
she's-
relaunch.
Yeah.
It's giving she like Shrey. Like,
No, don't say that. Maybe
listen.
she's going through a rebrand. Like I said, she added someone to her team to help.
they just
bring
posted
in-
3 days ago, so maybe it's just the website is just down.
Yeah.
And people don't even use websites anymore, right? Well, if you're a business,
I feel like you need to have at least a business page, a landing page, or something. You know, like
I'm on Google Maps. Google is
listen, listen. It looks cute. It looks cute. It's just really sad. Like it's just really sad. Listen, Kenya in the last episode she said that she put in $400,000 worth of her money into this. Some of that money being Brooklyn's college fund, and then we see her right before the opening, getting ready for this event. She is holding auditions for models to come and showcase different type of hairstyles that she's about to be presenting at her event. Everything looks good. Like we said, the salon itself is beautiful.
Beautiful.
And the girls seem to love it. It looks luxe as fuck. So it's just really sad, foreshadowing a little bit, knowing where it's going to go.
Right.
Why? You know, like, let me ask you this before we get into the rest of the episode. Would you actually? I'm gonna save that question, and I'm gonna take.
Yeah, because I'm like, I know, like,
I'm gonna save that question. But just when we think it's going to be petty and a shady episode, Bravo hits us with something raw and something real. This was heavy, and we got a real insight into Angela's life and the generational trauma that's shaping her daughter Amari. Angela and her daughter Amari meet at a coffee shop for what turns into a heavy and emotional conversation. Amari's dad was murdered when she was 7. We got to look at the trauma that she has carried since then. Angela's sister called Amari a demon over car and money. Despite everything, Amari has helped her family with bills. And she feels like, yet they still come at her. And she kind of is like, listen, like, I get it. We're all going to disagree here and that. And you guys are not going to like everything I say. But no shade. I'm the one paying the bills. So, like, limit that talk back. Bombshell, Amari got married and didn't even tell Angela. They argue about it a little bit. And they both break down into tears over the situation. What did y'all take away from this? Was this Angela's most vulnerable moment that you guys have seen her so far? And also, let's talk about the relationship between her and her daughter, who she told us is her best friend, but yes, she didn't know she got married. Tori?
who wanna go ahead? Go ahead.
Oh, I can understand this a little bit because as you get older and you have older relatives, they still treat you like a child. And sometimes, like, if I'm the way Amari and Angela talk about it is like, Mom, stop giving him the money. If you're gonna treat my child this, treat me like this, it's not right. It's not fair. Like, and Angela also talks about her mother overcoming her mental health issues. And so I thought that was a very vulnerable moment, right? That's something that we don't talk about in our communities.
Right.
About someone being bipolar and getting help and working on that. So that is commendable in itself. But it's just, I totally understood where Amari came from when she's saying, my aunt treated me like crap. And I don't hear you acting like this when I was helping you pay your bills. If I asked to borrow a car that my mother paid for, what is the problem? And so I totally understood that. And Angela was obviously, upset about it and on her side. I just think Amari kind of gaslit her mother, and it maybe not have been the best moment to mention, you got married and didn't tell me. I think it should have been a separate conversation. Just
There's a lot
really
going on.
just deal with what was going on with the family and the aunt and the grandmother and have that conversation later. It just was, Amari felt like, okay, everybody's shitting on me. You're gonna add to it. I kind of understood that. Clearly, I felt like she didn't want to talk about it no more and she got emotional. I understood both sides of it. But kudos to them. I don't know if I would have been able to do that on camera.
Right.
Well, this is what I was going to say, and it's not even about Angela and her daughter. I mean, if Her daughter gaslit her. That's not the first time Angela been gaslit, but that's not my tea for sure. But why do I not care about housewives and their kid scenes no more? Like back in the day, and I was thinking about this literally watching like Sheree and her kids when she would just take Cairo when homeboy wasn't paying child support. And, you know, they was just going anywhere to the store. Like it was just fun because it felt like, you know, they was like family that you would hang out with and that you knew about them. And like, you know, we were just like when you're younger, you go like spend a day with somebody and their mom. Like it kind of would
Yeah.
feel like that. I don't really get that from these scenes, and it just felt it felt like Angela's trying to curate a lot of these stories into
Mm.
something, and I think maybe she's doing a good job at some of it. I mean, not as much as Drew, because what's Drew kid's name? I couldn't even tell you, but I don't know. I just felt like I just was fair. Okay, your mom got bipolar. Sorry about everything else that happened to y'all. What's going on with this? I don't get it.
No, but you know what? I think that you bring up a good point because I feel like back in the day we fell in love with these kids because they were part of the show, and
Right,
they were as part of the production and the storylines that were being told, just like the Housewives. The Housewives usually, at least Atlanta, was always a kid friendly show. The kids were always around. There was a
right.
point in time where you even saw the kids in the back of their title cards at the beginning of the show. So I think that when you have a housewife that has older children, you need to learn how to properly produce her and properly produce her children so that they also feel like it's part of this family concept. And maybe they haven't done the proper rollout of her family, but I can understand why it doesn't, like, I feel like from going from I don't your mom is fucking with me and she's not letting me borrow the car and I fucking hate your family and also I got married and I don't know you, going from that to the last thing we saw of them cooking in the kitchen, it's like, what
Right?
happened?
Yeah, like what?
So it's a lot.
Yeah,
And
but
someone
then
said,
on the
go ahead,
flip
Tori, sorry.
side, I just wanted to make this point. I agree with what you're saying, but then you have Mia who overdid it with her kids.
Well,
Clock that
yes.
T. Clock that T.
Well,
Okay.
yes. Well, well, yes. But I mean, with Mary, I feel like it was
That was weird.
not that it needs to be produced like that, but it was just kind of like we could see that there was an issue there that
Right.
was bubbling under. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I was kind of feeling about. I mean, not even to go back, but with Shamia and Angela's issue. And I feel like this is why Shamia is just so authentic and real to me. Like, you can kind of tell the things that she's actively going through in her life is kind of impacting her flariness and her irritation to, fire off at Angela or her Michael Jackson nose or whatever the case may be. Sorry to Angela. I actually really enjoy her. I'm sorry to throw shade at her. I'm so
She's no
sorry.
no she's
But
a really good addition. No, all of the shade on reality right after is fun shade, ladies, because I know you're listening. So don't get caught up. It's just all fun shade.
I'm
We're
so sorry.
we're
Beat
keeping the
it.
show
No, I'm
alive.
sorry.
No,
But
but
yes,
listen.
but yeah, go ahead. It just felt real, felt natural. It felt like, okay, well, this is kind of like happening, and like I signed up to do this show, and like I can either just embrace it or not. I feel like Angela's kind of like pulling these
I
things together.
I also think that it also takes a good housewife to know when certain things should be talked about. I think that one of the beautiful things about Mary's situation was that we saw this building up from the beginning all the way to that big episode at the end that left us all,
Right.
gagged. Whereas I think that there was already production told her, "Well, you're gonna sit down with your daughter and you're gonna bring up the fact that she didn't tell you that she got married, and then when she actually sat down with Amari threw this bomb that I'm not fucking with your family right now because they're not letting me borrow the car. And between that being thrown at her, she's like, "Well, I'm supposed to be sitting down to talk to you about the fact that you got married and you didn't tell me about it."
Yeah.
Angela should have never brought that up, knowing what just had gone down about her family, and just leaned into the whole family thing. And let's wait for this other thing and bring it up later.
Right.
You know,
Right, because why don't she live with her in that big ass house?
Was she married?
Oh, that's why she kicked her out?
I don't think she kicked her out. I don't
I
see.
saw
We
on
don't
Twitter
know.
that she lived with the mom, with the
I don't know.
grandma.
She paid for the house. I mean, here's the thing.
yes.
I think we got too much information and not enough information, right?
Right.
Like, we're introduced to Amari, but at the same time, there's family drama and she got married. We're not getting, hey, this is Amari, and then maybe an episode or two later, we hear about the family drama and the marriage. We're not getting that. There's no trajectory. It's just like, poop, this is in your lap, and that's it.
Yeah.
So,
Why she want to put her daughter on blast before she put her marriage on blast?
Questions that need to be answered, apparently. From family wounds to personal accountability, Britt meets Portia and brings a whole new energy. She's owning up, no excuses, full responsibility, and even says she's wrong about the pistol comment. I never want anyone to think I'm being threatened towards them. She explains she felt Kenya had a tone that was dismissive about her engagement ring. Portia gently challenges her, says no one else picked up on that shade, so is it just you? And overall, after their little back and forth, which I appreciated Portia kept it real with her. She said, honey, like, I don't know, like, no one else is saying what you're saying. And to be completely honest, like, I haven't seen Kenya really throwing no shade your way. And this all feels unwarranted. So, like, what's tea? Because it's not making sense. And I think that when she was met with that, that's when Britt responds and says, listen, like, at the end of the day, it was wrong for me to say what I said at the event last week. And I am taking full accountability. I should not have mentioned no pistol. I actually was not going to hurt anybody. And personally, I never thought she was going to. Like, let's be fucking honest. Like, none of these housewives is actually going to start whipping out guns and like shooting each other while production is rolling. Like, let's be serious. There's serial background checks and psych evaluations that these cast members have to go through in order to be part of this. They are.
I don't know. A lot of them got a few
There are.
Let's see what Jen Shaw's psych evaluation said.
Listen. People lie.
Clearly. And what was the other one? Jeannie too. She was another crazy one.
But I will say every Housewife show is produced by a different production company, so which is why a lot of things are not the same. Because for example, we're over here and firing a girl over these comments or whatever it is, you know, all of this retaliation and doing things to each other, but they beating each other's asses in New Jersey and no one's getting fired.
They all fired.
I mean now, but in the sense of like, but in the sense of like, not because of that action.
I didn't know why. I mean, if that was the case, then why didn't they keep going? Because I was enjoying it. When Marge,
I know.
Sorry to derail, but when Marge at the end, when she got on Jackie and she was like, no, she was getting on Jackie and Jackie was like, what? I'm not, guys.
I love New Jersey. Trust me.
I'm like, okay, like, why are we not going to keep this up? What are we talking about?
The girls
like,
girls don't want to film with each other.
So I'm like, okay then. So they all got fired. Like, that's what happened. Is that really the case?
I mean, it hasn't been confirmed whether they got fired or not, whether they're coming back, whether who's coming back yet on that New Jersey front. But the point that I'm trying to make is that if they didn't seem to want to take any action over the physicalities that sometimes happen on New Jersey, how come like the threshold is not the same on other shows, and then cast members are being fired over some of the things that on other shows, I guess they roll?
I would venture to say, I'm going to be very honest with this part. I find that Bravo was wrong in handling this particular situation.
Okay, wait, before you get into that, I guess, because that's more later after everything that happens. Right. Okay. Okay. Do you believe Brit's apology though, was it sincere or damage control when she's talking to Portia?
It's damage control.
I agree, because like if you weren't threatening, then what were you doing?
And you know something that I wanted to point out? Listen, I bring
And
on
people
my
talk like that though, so
they
sorry.
do. No, they do talk like that. But I bring on different guests every week because I want to make sure that every episode is unbiased as possible and that people hear different opinions from different people about these shows every week, every episode. But I have to call a spade, and as a journalist, sometimes I need to point out some of these patterns are not making sense. So in your sit down with Portia, you saying that you actually had no problem with Kenya. Well, I thought me and Kenya we were cool. Like, I think she's actually a very cool girl. Well, honey, this is when sometimes like the dialogue and what's happening and it's not making sense to me, because if you didn't think you had a problem with Miss Kenya, then why have you been on her ass for the last 5 episodes? No shade.
Right.
Yeah. My thing, I found myself agreeing with Portia in her confessionals, and I'm not a Portia fan. Okay, she was like, "Listen, girl, nobody else has said the same things you said. She has not antagonized you, and maybe because you've seen Kenya do certain things, and you're going
She
off
clocked
those,
that. She
you got
clocked that.
yes, and you going off those experiences, you assume that she's treating you differently, and you creating these narratives in your head. That is exactly what Portia said, and that's what you did. Or I would venture to say you wanted Kenya's spot, and you said, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do, and I'm gonna be the queen bee, because she does give that energy. If you saw what she wrote on her Instagram, I'm still here, while she's dancing around, walking around the confessional, I didn't like that. You're still antagonizing the situation, and you were wrong. And you lied and said you did not threaten her when we all watched it and saw that you did.
I guess my question is, if I was a manager at McDonald's, right, and I had a drive-through cashier or whatever the case may be, say to the other one, y'all, you better keep it cute with me because I got a pistol right here. They better keep it. I got my whips and pistol. With me as a manager, would I keep this person or discipline them? How would I discipline them, or would I just flat out fire them? And that's really what I need to know. Like, can you say that in most job places
No.
and keep your job? If it's a no, then I feel like Britt should have been fired after that. And I don't even think she's that interesting. Her or Mike Teeth. I'm sorry. I'm trying get it all out.
No, but a lot of people have that sentiment. They feel like, listen, if we're gonna be on the firing spree, let's fire both of them because they both retaliated against each other and they were both being super disrespectful and they both took it too far. One with firearms and another one with sexually explicit photos. So it is what it is. But if we're gonna do the firing, then they both should go. And then there's other people that, to play devil's advocate, they're like, well, let's be completely honest. She really wasn't going to shoot her, and they're filming a reality show, and like, if this was a real situation, like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, this is dialogue that's happening in real
Right.
life. So, like, if I say to you, like, yeah, well, like, I got pistols for bitches like you, and then
No.
it's like, production is like, is she really being serious?
I
Or is she
disagree.
really just throwing shade?
Serious or not, we live in a country where mass shootings
Clock
and
it.
people go up to their jobs and kill people. So for me, whether you took her threat in a realistic way or not,
Mhm.
you put everybody else at risk for a crazy lady who we never worked with her previously. We don't know what she's capable of and not capable of, and you should have got rid of her as soon as she made those threats. If you want to talk about HR complaints, that is one. That, you know how
So,
many
yeah, so just to confirm, you guys think that Britt should have gotten fired after her
Yes.
pistol comments?
Yes,
I think so.
absolutely.
I
That is a
possibly.
terroristic threat.
I think so. I kind of think so. And I'm just like, if I wanted to like take her to jail or to court for a threat, because a threat is a crime.
Mhm.
Yep.
If her saying I have a pistol and a whip like in my direction, is that a threat? And is that liable to be, adjudicated under the law? Yes or no?
And
And
to
if
be
it's a
honest,
yes,
yeah.
then I think she should be fired. If if they think that that's a yes, or if it's just a disciplinary suspension, okay, cool. But if it can be like criminal behavior, like you said, yeah, she should have been
The
fired.
line was crossed. The line was genuinely crossed. I'm sorry. I just believe there should be zero tolerance for threats with pistols and whips and any other. I don't care if it was brass
We
knuckles.
keep saying pistols and whips. It keeps reminding me of Candy's song "Pistols"
Wait,
and body.
Wait, someone had put on Twitter, like, what they said, like, they were like the charade meme, like, we don't know if we come to the Kenya Moore hair spa if we're gonna get pistols or pornography. Like,
That was hilarious because when she said that about Candy's old lady gang, I was hollering. Oh my god! We don't know if when we go down to a lady gang, we're gonna get biscuits or bullets.
like,
Like,
Oh
no,
yeah.
don't walk around telling people I got a pistol for you.
right. And I felt like in that scene,
And
it
you know
was,
what's crazy? Marlo was talking about gun control last season.
please. But can we talk about like that scene specifically when they were in the hallway? Like it just gave the last 3 seasons of the show. It gave reaching, tired, like torn hamstring, like somebody needs to stretch. It gave low budget. Like I feel like she's really declassing the show. She kind of brings that fake Mia energy that I feel like we just don't need. I think it's just
Pocket.
not. It just gave because in the last couple seasons didn't give luxury. Kenya right now in this moment she's giving luxury with the hair care spot and with the other girls. You know what I'm saying? With
I think this
Shamia.
is the most looks that RHOA has given in a while.
And that scene right there just gave
Since
like
Deshaun
boogie whoop, you know
Snow.
what I'm saying? Like
Since Deshaun Snow.
Clock
Because
it.
she was the one who gave luxury.
Bitch had a salon in her own house, honey.
like and like, she and I look at her appliances. Like her appliances look like my appliances. Like the fake marble, like please girl. Like this give like please. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna leave her alone.
Please,
Before she try to shoot me too. I don't I don't need that.
Well, all right, y'all. It's time for the main event, the Kenya Moore Hair Spa grand opening. And let me tell you, it's about to get super messy. Brit shows up like a Hallmark card with flowers and apologies. Kenya doesn't even blink. And Angela gets her loyalty gold star for being a good friend, I guess. Miss Lawrence is in attendance. Drew, Cynthia, all the gang is there. Brit arrives with flowers and a card and her apology locked and loaded. Kenya is cordial with everyone until she spots Brit and she kind of rolls her eyes. And that little eye roll is making its rounds on Twitter because they're like, honey, that eye roll set 1,000 ships. Kenya privately talks to Angela for being the only one who checked on her after the bank party. And Angela told her, like, listen, I'm on your side and I'm here for you. What did you catch like a flip flop from Angela from her scene with Britt and Shamia? Because I do feel like Angela does tell everyone that she's sympathetic with them and that I understand and then like
She be giving flip flop. I mean, I think it's maybe flip flop, or if she's the type of person that might change her opinion with different information. I don't know
that's fair.
what it is yet because we've seen it on the first episode when she was sitting next to Portia and she's like, Drew, that don't sound right. And then the next episode she
And
want to
you're
go
literally Drew's friend.
and she want to be right and go up against Shamia about
Drew.
sticking up for Drew. So it's just like, what does it give? Did you get more information, or do you feel like it's going too far? Should be moved on? I'm not really sure yet. She do. I guess we could tell. We have more time to see exactly.
A lot of people do feel though like there are those type of friends where like they don't really stand on nothing and it's kind of like
Ride the fence.
You know, they make a decision based on any little thing, and they may be with you, but then I get on the phone with them and I say something different to them, and then it's like they completely switch their side.
But if we're gonna play devil's advocate here,
Then play it.
so
Go
is
ahead.
so is the cast, and that includes Portia's ass. Portia said when this stuff came out that she stood with Kenya, but then you under Brit's picks saying, I mean, the particular one yesterday where she doubled down and said, "And I'm still here," and you put fire emojis and
Still is.
right, and it's just like, and then Kenya wrote on one of her stories, "Traitor." Yeah, yes. So it for me, and I'm gonna say this: Shamia and Kelly had some words today, child.
You saw that?
Yeah, I saw that. Kelly
She
was
said
like,
it's so hard defending like sticking up for someone that you defended them and then realizing why they've always been wrong on something like that.
yeah.
Well, girl, that's why you're not supposed to defend the bitch that you fake came on the show with as friends already. Girl, we already know y'all don't be real friends.
Yeah.
Y'all get introduced 3 days before. Do you meet a couple of girls?
No,
This ain't your best friend. They
well,
besties. They besties.
I don't know. No, most of the people on the cast fell out with her for multiple reasons. We shall see later in the season. She calls Kelly a hobbit. We don't know why.
Ciao.
And then
They was not real friends.
And then she spoke on Shamia's daughter and said something nasty. And so for me, Portia, that is like your niece.
The kids are off limits.
Period.
That
And
I care more about that.
About your kid, you would want Shamia to stick up for you, but you friends with
And
the girl.
I also have a weird I have a weird thing with housewives that talk about another housewife's children when you're trying to have your own. Like, to me, that's kind of like crazy.
Yeah.
And like, God is watching. And the last thing you want to do when you're trying to have your own child is be talking about someone else's.
I pray that it's not egregiously bad, but I think that is something I care more about than Portia, making an alliance with Brit versus making an alliance with Kenya, because we've seen them for damn near 20 years going at it. These girls, they done got kids together and everything, done grown up together. They've been going at it for years, so it don't matter to me if they're friends or not. But if you riding with Brit in your alliance and she talking about your best friend since a child's kid, first, personally, you better not be commenting on her shit. I don't care if it's a show. No, I don't care if she apologized either. It needs to be some time and like some repentance before my bestie try to be besties with a bitch I'm not besties with.
You ain't my bestie. You a fake hoe.
No shade. No shade. I don't give a fuck who you are. My best friend, you not fucking with no bitch I don't fuck with, and that's that.
Period. And I'm gonna tell you like this: Shamia's a Taurus. Candy is her best friend. Candy's also a Taurus. We are loyal to a fault.
Bitch, I'm not cackling with no hoe. No.
I don't do that. No FaceTime call, no texting. I'm like, and it's not even got to be a beef. It's just more so. And low-key, the type of person I am, I'll be more mad at the bitch than my friends mad at
me too.
That's me.
Yep.
I want to start problems. Oh,
like,
she tried you.
You know the type of friend I am? I'm the Chrissy of my friends. Go ask somebody. No, legit, they will tell you. They be like, my friend bring in other friends, and her older friends be like, "Have you met Tori yet?" And they be like, "No," and they be like, "Yeah, you got to go through her before you get to see her."
No, because for real, like, no, we're not doing all of that cackling. We're not doing all of that hee ha ha. None of that.
I don't like that.
I'm vetting people. If that girl ain't your friend, no.
Yeah. No, I agree. Kenya, Brit is very apologetic from what we see, I guess.
Wait, did we get? Sorry. Did we get to Drew and Portia?
Yeah, we're literally.
Okay, sorry.
That's literally about to be. No, you're good. Kenya is not acknowledging Brit whatsoever. She was given the silent treatment. Was that deserved? Or should have Kenya at least acknowledged her?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't acknowledge her either.
I'm not even gonna lie to you though. Like I will say that, like just like I'm very polite. Tori, you've seen me like out in action. Like I am very like weird about how people might perceive me or what people can say. So even for the sake of pleasantries, honey, like hi and bye.
Can I say something though?
What?
Y'all don't think in that scene it gave, and this is my question about production in this moment. And like, because I'm like, I want to know how much of the onus is on Miss Kenya Moore, because in this scene, she didn't uninvite the girl. When she came in, if this is true, I feel like she should have greeted her to have a sense of pleasantries, but maybe she would have been too fake. But it gave that she was waiting for this girl to come in so she can whip out the poster board. Looking at the footage, did y'all not see that? Like she
Well,
kind of gave.
I mean, there's like at the end of the day, there's a fourth wall that when you break that fourth wall, there's call sheets that are emailed to everybody saying your call time for this scene at the Kenya Moore hair spot is at 6:00. You're getting mic'd at 6:15, and you're gonna be in scene at 6:30. So at the end of the day, if we're on a reality show together and we're filming an all cast scene, I know who's going to be there. Correct.
So she was waiting for her to come inside so she can do this. So I'm just saying, then if that's the case, if you was really about it, then you should have just. That's how I be. If I'm really on some, some grimy shit. I like to, you can attract more flies with honey, and then you can smash their ass. But that's not what she wanted to do.
Listen, just when we thought we were safe from any situation, here comes an old feud that we thought was done, and that's Drew and Portia. Bringing it right back up. Portia hit Drew with the frostiest fake greeting ever, and then she gave us one of the best one-liners of the season, which I love. She said, "Don't try to talk to me like you're singing a song, because I can make it ring." Drew is like, "You can have his hot dog. I don't want it." Portia's like, is that supposed to be like cute or something? Drew says Portia should know better. Nothing's going on with Dennis. Like it's really not a thing. Kelly's face is priceless through this all. Portia walks away after accusing Drew of sneaky behavior with her creative director, because Drew called Portia's creative director trying to set up a shoot with Go Naked and Dennis and yada yada yada. Is it giving real, or is Portia reaching because she's back on camera, or is Drew just grasping at straws? Like, what is it giving? And should they have wrapped it up by episode 2?
Sorry, what you think?
It's giving she's dragging it. That's what it's giving.
She who?
Portia. I think she oversold it even in the first couple of episodes, calling her a low down dirty bitch. Girl, I thought that was just too much.
I love P down, but that was a little insane.
It was too much. It wasn't giving what it gave. Like, well, first of all, you know your baby daddy a whore. Candy tried to tell you that before you went and got pregnant by it, and you ain't trying to listen.
And I mean, no shade. And
he ain't your
that's not what I was gonna say, but no shade. She did say it in confessional. She did say, like everybody be sucking on his lollipop on his little hot dog.
Wait. Who said that?
I mean,
Portia.
When?
She said he don't be. That's how Dennis controls his body count, because he doesn't fuck everybody. He just gets head from all of the girls. So whenever she's asking him, "Did you have sexual intercourse with this girl?" She's like, "No." Like, she just gave me head. No, she just gave me head. No, she just gave me head.
Okay, I gotta rewatch that season.
Go on Peacock, honey.
Okay, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's oversold. I'm not. Why you going so hard after a man you said you didn't want no more?
Yeah,
but
so that's my thing.
My thing is,
see what happened.
I feel like I'm the only one who's agreeing with Portia.
In what way?
And I understand why she's annoyed. Like, she's annoyed specifically because it feels like Drew's trying to throw anything out the wall to have some sense of spice or to have some sense of feud. Like, she doesn't have to film with Portia's baby daddy. And the thing is, like, Drew deadass could have, she said, well, I texted you. Drew never said she called her. She never called her, picked up the phone and say, hey, girl, I'm about to start working with your baby daddy. And, like, the option of maybe filming with him is on the table. Like, what do you think about that before I go through with it? She never did that. And I think it's just hella weird to me personally because it just feels like she wants people to kind of think something. Because every time she talks to Portia, here comes Drew. What? Oh, so what's going on? So what do you think is happening? What do you think is going on? And like it just feels like she's kind of reaching for that salacious energy where it's just like, oh, so I don't want his little hot dog. So y'all, you're good. You don't like it. It gives
Performative.
Drew, girl, go film with your baby daddy in the basement. Like, if you don't go film in the staircase, I need you to go to your kids. You need to go bring this to your daddy. The camera need to be down there and catch him getting the shit from the kids and bring it back. Girl, if you don't go film with your baby daddy, your storyline is right there.
No,
and I want to see it.
It's a lot going on.
It's going to come up, but you're right. I feel I'm going to be very honest with you. Drew and Dennis is using the show to promote the music. So, okay. And here's the other thing that people were saying. Oh, there's so many music producers in Atlanta she could have went to. She didn't have to. Okay. Y'all are right. But Drew is going through a divorce and she clearly don't have the money for that. And Dennis is putting up the money to do it. So that is who she is working with. And that is what is going on. And in all honesty, I listened to the album. It is very good.
It is. No shade.
So they are using this moment. And let's be clear, because everybody is throwing shade at Drew for this. Clock your baby daddy. Because I think
clock your baby daddy.
Drew was the one that said, Dennis, you need to talk to Portia and let her know we working together. And he didn't, because that's what it's giving.
But is this your girl or not? Is this your friend? Is this your friend? Like, you're not going to call your friend and you're going to work with her baby daddy? You're going to make her baby daddy go back and tell him, but you're not going to talk to your friend too?
And I also think that let's stop depending on these situations and these situations that are happening off camera and then being like, ooh, this is going to be great for the new season. Like, how about we just start filming and let's see what happens after we start filming? Because she could have said that to her, like you said, Jahaj. She could have said to Portia, honey, listen, I ain't got no money for this album, but I do want to put it out by the time the new season comes because I think it would be smart for me to shoot myself filming, putting together my album, and then when the new season comes out, then I drop the album and then I promote the album, the season, and like it's smart. Don't get me wrong. That's how you use the platform. But you could have told that to Portia, and y'all could have been good. And actually, we could have seen we never know. Y'all could have gotten a little duet on the album because, Portia likes to act like she sings too. Listen. Follow me.
Not another Ashley Barbie.
Instead, Drew chose to be like, this will be actually great for the season. This is actually going to get Portia mad. It's going to start a feud between me and her. Let me not say anything. Let me start working on this album, film without her knowing, and sooner or later, she's going to realize that I'm filming with her baby daddy. And I mean, listen, I don't know if that was truly what went down in Drew's head, but that's how it seems. And I wish that instead of us...
Y'all giving Portia too much credit.
Well, this is what I was going to say, though, because I watched her Breakfast Club interview, right? Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't know how... like serious or if this was in her mind during the time of filming, but like what if the joke is on us? Because currently her mind about the situation, she and Drew are like basically cool now, or it's not really that serious.
This is my point.
Because Portia said, if we promoting it, and this is my baby daddy, he got to take care of our kids. Like
he said, if this is actually going to pay for Pilar's college, then I guess I got to promote it too.
This is my point. The other point is, It's a deflection from Simon and the marriage. Yes, and the divorce.
Another thing that I wanted to point out is on the Twitter streets they have been saying like, honey, it's episode 5 and we don't know any details about
but she's
the
been
divorce.
telling us details. She's been telling us details.
No.
She told us there was that immigration, they got surrounded. Spook.
No, this was filmed before the immigration stuff. So this is remember this film last
No,
year.
she said that they would get stopped when they were at airports, that they would get stopped through extra security and stuff like that.
When they would get off the plane, but this was
before
would come around.
This was before him getting detained and actually taken into. And no shade, like we haven't gotten an update. I'm gonna get one of my reporters on this. We haven't gotten an update on he's still in ICE custody. You know, the reality rundown is gonna get on that, castmates. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, no,
not Bravo versus the Descapo. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a deflection. She doesn't want to talk about Simon and the divorce. We know that while filming, he took her to court multiple times. He did not want her filming in that car, did not want her filming in that house. And so he tried everything he could to stop her from filming in those areas. And so I'm going to be very honest with you. I think she used this Drew feud to kind of deflect from that.
Well, I hope they get back together.
Who?
Or like find each other again, because I like Drew and Portia, and I feel like, you know, Drew get like boring sometimes when she's away from the group too long, and then she just come around. I feel like Drew's actually very interesting, and I don't think she like really settles into it enough.
I've always said that I think that Drew is actually a great housewife. It's just that she manages herself wrong on this show. And I think that it's no shade because I don't know who's attached to her production-wise, but I feel like there's better ways to produce Drew, the character on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and her being this shady friend that is always in some shady mess, it's not really as gaggy as we want it.
Right.
And I think that it would actually do her best if she was Drew, the loyal friend that's a good time and other girls love. And I think
that her husband hate her. Like,
and you know, like your girls love you, your husband hates you, and
but can we clock this part? But Portia used Drew to piss Shamia off. I found that very interesting. When they was in the bank and Shamia was playing her song, what did Portia say?
Is that Drew? Were you in that?
But you wasn't. That ain't your friend. Yep. I found that very interesting.
No shade, Yaha. You have to call a spade a spade.
No, I remember. I think I was looking at this, and I'm like, this may be why she in an alliance with Brit right now, and not with Shamia, because it was giving she might be the villain after Kenya leave, because somebody got to be the villain, and maybe it might be Brit, but Brit finna be on the island, and people still like Portia. You know what I'm saying? So what's the tea? Like, I really didn't get that. I didn't really.
But let's also talk about the fact that after getting rid of our villain, I don't think we actually have someone that is willing to be in that villain aspect. And I think that that's one of the things that made Kenya a strong character, was that she was willing to be the villain. Yes. She was willing to be in that and to be seen as that. And a lot of girls are not willing to be the villain, because when you're the villain, all of the other girls come at you and you have to stand 10 toes on what you say and do, and you have to gather everybody left and right. And I don't know that any of the other ladies are, one, capable of doing that, and two, willing to do that as well. So looking at this scene, can we finally talk about the moment, the chaos, the posters, the blowjob reveal, the walkouts? Let's get into this final scene, because, whoo,
Jesus.
Kenya makes it very clear. She's not just twirling, she's snapping. She turns the party into a TED Talk of receipts and sex shaming, unfortunately. Brit offers the flowers and a card. Kenya ignores it. Kenya claps for attention as soon as Brit kind of slides to the side. She gives a speech about resilience and haters and being that bitch. Nobody's trying to see in here and see these girls. Wait, hold on. Yeah, so she gives a speech of resilience, about haters and being that bitch. And then Kenya drops a series of poster boards showing Brit in various different looks. So the first one, when I saw it, I'm like, wait, she didn't get fired because of that. Like, that can't be it, you know? But then she pulled out another one. And then she pulled out another one. One was a video hoe. Another one was a pistol threat. And one censored image of Brit performing fellatio. It is not certain whether Brit was an adult or not, whether she was under 18.
Wait, what?
That's another thing that's another layer to the situation that
Did Britt say that though?
We don't have a lot of clarity on.
So she needs to clear that up.
So far, we only know that this was a picture of Brit performing fellatio when she was younger.
But who gave that idea that she was underage? Where did that come from? That just came out the air or no?
Well, that might have came from her when it got released, because I think that is the reason why Kenya was suspended and people decided. I mean, legally, this is a lot of legal.
If that's the case, that's kind of worse than if she was underage. Sorry. Where are we going? Did you finish your speech?
No. And I hear you. Like if this was the thing, again, we don't know the certainties of this. As the thing comes up, Cynthia's like, nobody's trying to sit here and see this girl sucking somebody's dick. Shami is like, that's too far. And Kenya responds, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. She threatened me with a gun. She threatened him with a gun. She says, I am that bitch. I've been that bitch. I will still be that bitch. And I'm gonna pay you dust. And there's a hype man in the back. There's a hype man in the back talking about, I know that's right. Kelly's like, who's the hype man? Who hired him? Portia's done. She leaves. She's disgusted. Cynthia blesses her. And he's the only one who really tells Kenya that she's wrong to her face. I gotta commend Cynthia for this. And this is why I always think that Cynthia is a class act. She didn't say it in a wrong way. She didn't dog her in a confessional. She went straight to her face and she said, I love you. I respect you. I think higher of you. And I am disappointed in what you did today. And I think that you know better than this. And I'm leaving. I'm going to call you later. No shade. That's how you handle a friend. So, knowing now that Cynthia and Kenya are not on speaking terms from that day, I am a little disappointed because the way that I see Cynthia handling Kenya, that's what how a real friend would have done it. At least that's how I would have done it. Because I'm keeping it respectful, but I'm still clocking you because you just crossed the line. We're women of class. We're women of elevation. We're women of careers. We're black women on national television. The last thing we want to be doing is showing pictures and videos of each other doing sexual acts with anybody. So we've taken it too far, says Cynthia. And as a result, the end card on the episode reads, as a result of her behavior, this was the last time Kenya filmed this season. Britt wasn't really there to see it go down because as Kenya started her speech, Britt was which also is so poetic to me because the fact that she's walking out as Kenya is literally starting to put her on blast. I always say that divine timing is everything and that God puts his hands on things. And I really think he was really trying to protect Britt from experiencing that trauma of seeing herself on that poster and then seeing everybody's reaction. Because honestly, like I'm at an event where there's at least 60 people and a motherfucker brings out a poster board of me sucking dick.
Somebody might get shot.
Now I really got pistols.
Somebody, y'all better duck, bitch. Everybody, this shit's getting okay. But what came from her about the underage part? Like, what did she say?
No, so this is the thing. When it came out, it was said that there was a picture that was shown from when Brit was younger.
She says she was a video vixen when she was in high school.
When she
High
was in
school.
high school.
But
So-
she might be the type to get left back. Like what?
Well,
what-
it's all
We don't know.
semantics. So a lot of people are saying, like, at the end of the day, high school, showing a picture of a girl giving heading from a girl from high school. No
That's
shade.
crazy.
That's a child. No shade.
That's
Okay, so
pornography.
You
So
know,
she
whether
should've got arrested.
whether she's 18 or not, if we are grown 40, 50-year-old people and you're showing a picture of one of your castmates from when she was in high school, whether she was 18 or not, or 19, it's kind of playing with that child underage, just the high school of it all, you know?
I feel like that is the reason maybe why Bravo decided to keep her
Mm.
versus Kenya.
Because she could have sued them for like
Yes.
for millions and millions of dollars.
Yes.
And Kenya would have went to jail.
Yes.
Because
This is
if
what
she
I'm saying.
is if she was underage, speculation,
Allegedly.
allegedly, Kenya was distributing child pornography in a public space, which is public indecency. That's a separate charge. And another charge is child pornography, like you said.
And I
Or
think
revenge fees.
Possessing child pornography.
and revenge porn, and you have to
Revenge
get
porn.
you're probably gonna have to get added to a sex offenders list.
Yeah,
It's a lot going on.
it's a lot.
Olivia Benson about to come to Atlanta too. She about to be on the cast.
That's why this is tricky. That's why, I do believe that even though Kenya could have retaliated,
Mhm.
this was not the thing to retaliate with. She had
Mm-mm.
2 other poster boards. She could have exposed that and left it alone. I do agree that Bravo did not protect her or the rest of the cast or the producers when Britt made those threats,
Mm.
and it should have been taken seriously. At the same time, Kenya was wrong for showing that.
Mhm.
She could have exposed her. There are a number of things that Britt is accused of. Not just that, but there's some insurance things, and that was on the board that she was accused of. She was accused of
Being a scammer.
of being a scammer and taking money.
Even there's some alleged beef. If you go to the reality rundown, we've reported this. There's some alleged beef between Britt and Sheree because Sheree called out Britt for being a scammer once supposedly the cast was released and she saw that she was on the cast, and Sheree had posted something on her story like, oh, I guess we letting scammers on the show. And then there is this tea and receipts and shade that
about
Britt,
a modeling agency, and she took money from them and never gave them.
that was actually an exclusive that Chase from No Chaser TV had on his show. There was a model that was a student at Brit's and her sister's agency, that basically Britt had an agency with her sister where they would bring in young girls that were modeling, and they would basically tell her, and I think Jihad, you can kind of like relate to this because you're in the influencer business, and I feel like a lot of people reach out to you like, let me optimize your followers, let me optimize your content, or let me,
all the time.
So it was kind of like that situation where like Britt will, her team will reach out to young girls that can be models, and they will say like, listen, like if you get into my school and you pay me this $400 fee, we're gonna get you a photo shoot and we're gonna do you a catalog and things like that. But if you actually listen to people that are in this business, they always say to you, if they need you to pay, then it's not really for real. Because if an agency wants to like sign you, an agency will sign you because of the talent, and then they will figure out the resources.
Because they get the money in already. Like
exactly,
that's how they get paid. They don't get paid from their incoming models. They only get paid from the people that they connect their models with, the brands that they connect their models with.
Exactly. So this girl, again, No Chaser TV exclusive, she paid money to Brit and her sisters to produce this photo shoot for her, and then Brit and her sister ended up allegedly just ditching out on her. Never gave her money back, and the girl never got her pictures taken. No shade.
Yep. So there was multiple things she could have been exposed on. It did not need to go this way. I also feel that this was not the time or the place to expose her either.
Not the salon that you put up $400,000 of Brooklyn's college fund into. No shade.
I don't care if I put $4 into this shit. If this shit is for me, the next hoe getting paid dust. She paid that hoe more than dust. She paid that girl dollars, Brooklyn College Fund, them salon chairs.
And her job.
It's all going to her job. And let's talk about it. I want to talk about this. I actually just posted this. This is Beyonce yesterday, the day that the episode came out, at her Ulta Beauty launch with Sacred Hair Care. You don't see Beyonce with a "who is this hoe" poster of Carrie Hilson or Keisha Cole or half of the bitches that don't talk shit about. Who is this hoe? And you can say a lot of shit about them. You don't see Beyonce on her big day.
Listen. I'm going to say this. Watching the show back, because I watched it right before we started shooting, the Kenya that I saw in that scene is not the Kenya that I've seen in past couple of seasons. Like, to be completely honest,
more hair care?
No. It was, there was something there. And I think that it's the stress about the salon not doing well, the fact that she has so much money tied into, the fact that she already felt like production was on top of her, because let's run it back, she wasn't sure if she was coming back this season.
Yep.
So she's already intense. She's already under stress. She's already feeling like she has to earn her peach.
And how dare this newbie come and try her in the way that she did? And how dare y'all let her walk away or threaten her life with a pistol and some whips? So, yes, I understood where Kenya was coming from, but baby girl,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Right into that.
And I see both sides. I see both sides in the sense of like, listen, she did something. She took it to hell. We can work with this. We can't work with that. So we're gonna make this decision.
Yeah.
I'm also in the world where, no, this happened. This is reality. Let's show women actually, if this happened, let's show them actually still being part of this cast. I want to go back to the times where reality TV casts were like settled. When they start shooting, they start, like, I feel like because we are so involved on social media with the Real Housewives, and the moment these new seasons start filming, there's already pictures online where they're out at restaurants, and people online are like, oh, the Real Housewives of Atlanta are filming their new season, and look, Kenya was seen screaming at Portia, and they're already arguing, and you start to know all of the drama before the season starts. People already feel attached to the show and like they know what's happening. So when you have, in this world of social media, it's really hard to produce a show that everybody's on top of, and you're trying to keep things on the wrap. To be completely honest, if this was the earlier seasons of Atlanta, I think they would have scrapped the whole thing and we would have never seen it. One of the things from back in the day, reality TV, is that there's a lot of things that we don't know have happened on camera and we've never seen it. Because Erica Jane says Kathy said what she said and they were all mic'd. But no camera and there's no audio of it. But Erica remains strong that Kathy said what she said. And other people corroborate.
It's funny that you say Erica and not Erica and Lisa right now, but you know.
We
don't like her.
But yeah, so I do think that it would have gotten cut. But because of the whole situation, also the people that came out of that event fuming to social media were Kenya's people. And that's one of the things that I'm like, damn, like I feel bad for her because the reason why this became so, remember that photographer?
Yeah.
He was the one that posted a bunch of the videos and a bunch of the stuff, and he was invited there by Kenya. So also,
But I feel like she wanted them to do that. She wanted them to take it and go. She wanted
and it
them
was
to
not smart. It was not a smart decision.
And like I feel like she was kind of calculating that towards the end when Portia left and she said, "And don't come for me." And she kind of like she wanted to say, "Don't unless I send for you," but she looked a little spaced out. Like, this not going the way that I.
And then someone yelled
thought
from the crowd talking
this
about,
was.
until I sent for you or something like that.
And
So
she's like,
it really
right.
gave like a room full of her fans, a room full of the twirlers, people that probably were in her ear.
The twirls.
People that probably were in her ear, like telling her like, yeah, take it to hell, take it to hell, take it to hell. And
can I ask a question though?
Go ahead.
Did production not know about the poster boards? Like she wanted to surprise everybody, including production.
Well, there's this thing that a producer cannot tell you not to do something because we're producing a show about your real life. So you can tell me I'm gonna go into the scene and I'm gonna tell this bitch that this and this and this and this and this and this and that. And I can tell you that's a lot. But at the end of the day, this is a show about your life. So if you want to if you want to make those decisions on camera, we're not allowed to go in and say, stop it. We're only allowed to deal with the aftermath. So it's up to you if you want to take it there, which is why it's so important that you actually think twice before you do something on these shows, because they're not going to stop you, but they will deal with the consequences of whatever it is that you do. And I think in this stance, Kenya was at the, got the short end of the stick. All in all, I feel I've never been like a diehard Kenya stan. I've never really like I love her character and I love what she brought to this show, and I think that at the end of the day, whatever she did, you cannot take away the fact that Kenya is the Real Houses of Atlanta amongst other people. You know, when you think about the Real Houses of Atlanta, you do think of Kenya more, and she is a staple in our community, and she is the second Black Miss USA, and she's that girl. And it's really sad to see one of the most iconic housewives go down like this. And that is a sentiment that I wanted to share with the castmates. Let's stop pushing these women to end each other to the point where there's no return.
Right. I thought it was so beautiful when Shamia brought the olive branch, and I felt like, okay, this was like Housewives, because it's like it felt like things just bubbled over, and they shouldn't have. And Shamia's going through a lot, and like,
and we both called each other names, but let's leave it there and let's not dig up any more stuff on each other because it's not really that necessary. We already had our little spat. Now let's end it and let's close out that chapter. I think a lot of people fail to have that skill of when to stop. But yeah, it's really sad to see this, and I pray for Kenya. I pray for Brooklyn, and I pray that Kenya stays paid and that, she figures things out. I hope that she comes back to the reunion. Would you like to see Kenya return to the reunion?
Yes.
Will they do that to her, though? They will let her?
I don't know.
Anything's possible.
I think we were also robbed of her confessionals, like Cynthia said. I didn't like that. Like, you gave Ralph a confessional and not Kenya.
I think Kenya could have received confessionals up until the point that she was edited.
Right.
Like after we were done filming with you after this episode, then I can understand of course, if she's not in scene, why are we hearing from her? But
And let's get her reaction to what she did. She could have apologized in her confessional and said, "Yeah, I took it too far. Yes, I understand, but my life."
I wonder if they filmed the confessional. Like
I don't think
I
they
don't think
usually
they,
do it after
I don't think
everything
they
is.
did. I don't think they did. But
Because they do it like far after, don't they?
That's what I was figuring.
yeah,
Do they go to New York to do it, or no? Do they do it in their hometown?
they film it in their own town.
Oh, okay.
So sad.
Well, I guess then I don't understand why Candy think it's not that big of a deal. What she went through. The girl was young and she was a child.
Well, Candy, I think, is coming from the sense of like, well, y'all had this bitch said that I raped somebody and that I was planning to drug another person to rape them. So y'all gonna let this person come in at the end of the season by y'all firing my best friend Kenya? So I don't even think that Candy's trying to reason too much. I think that she's just trying to make the argument that while y'all firing Kenya, y'all are bringing in Phaedra, who did what she did to me.
But she was gone for a good 10 years.
She was gone for a while. But I do think, if I'm being completely honest, I have to say, I have to call it a spade. How you fire Kenya and bringing in Phaedra? Like it's you know what I'm saying? It's like, and then
they both did something wrong. Both of them.
And it's not only about doing something wrong, but also like they both did something wrong when it comes to sexual misconduct.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's giving flip flop.
Phaedra, a devil's advocate would say that Phaedra repeated a rumor while Kenya showed legit explicit images, but the rumor that was spread was a very damaging rumor.
Yeah, right.
And it was more like a legal, like libel situation,
right? Like it's
more
slander.
of a less
slander
of a,
libel,
slander, like less of a
like. So we'll see. Hopefully Phaedra.
It was verbal, so it would have been slander. Yeah.
Hopefully, Phaedra gives what she needs to give in order for us to even forget that. Because I am seeing it from that point. When I see Phaedra come in, I'm like, let's see if you earned your peach.
I just, and I'm not excited for Phaedra for a couple things because I don't feel like she really was given luxury and Married to Medicine. It's just, I'm not going to say why because I feel like it could be a microaggression against Black women. But however, I'm not going to say that. But read at your own will, read in between the lines. Secondly, I just am not interested in hearing her speak if it's not about what happened. Every single time, she's on any show and it gets to that. So why you leave your show? And she just gets cold. I get really uninterested with her. I just cannot buy into her. I just really can't. It's not interesting me. Maybe they need to give Candy $200,000 just to come in for 2 or 3 hours of filming. Sit down with Phaedra.
I was just about to say Candy was getting more than that. But keep going.
But just for 3 hours, 200,000. 200,000 to give us what we need so we can buy into Phaedra so bad. If they really want us to do this, let them talk. Candy probably don't want to, but for 200 she might want to. I mean, money talks.
Honey, if I was the head of that network, I will be giving out money to everybody and let's make the season of our dreams, honey.
Like
Candy and Phaedra, sit down. Kenya and Cynthia, sit down because there's tea there from Ultimate Ghost Trip. Kenya and Portia, we kind of saw that, but let's actually get to the tea and let's revise everything. Portia and Simon, duke it out inside the house. We're filming all of it. Drew and Ralph, we already see it duking it out, but everything, let's see it all. It's hard.
I'm telling you, Drew should have had that baby going up and down them steps, passing stuff, giving messages. Please. Oh, please.
Do you guys feel, one of my last questions, do you guys feel like Bravo handled this appropriately?
No. I think it should have been equal playing field and both of them should have been reprimanded for the behaviors.
In the same way.
Right.
In the same way. So Brit should have been suspended and Kenya should have been suspended if that's what we're gonna do.
But then
So
I'm like, we
then
would
you
have been
don't
left
have
with
a
just
show.
Kelly, Portia, Drew, Lioness,
But also,
Shamia,
like, it's
and Angela.
I
That's
mean,
6, but
recast or cast more women. I mean, Ming was at this event, and no shade, Ming was testing.
no.
Yes, I heard.
You know,
But
so
Ming
no,
is
I
on
It
know.
just
the
felt,
now.
She
no.
on
I don't
Basketball
like the
Wives.
vibe.
She on
Basketball
Basketball
Wives.
Wives.
No.
No, but I agree. No, I Jihad, I agree. No, but in the sense of like there are other women in scene that are testing for your show because we you know what I'm saying.
What
So
happened to Akila? I
Akila,
like Akila.
Akila's right there.
She was there.
Kenya friend?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Isn't she wealthy?
Some of these girls just look like they just standing there pretty. They're not interesting. I'm tired of the Instagram
I'm
bitches.
sorry. That's what that's why I think that Kelly is a great new addition because
I love Kelly.
yeah, she's like very glitz and glam, but Kelly has a personality. She can
I
throw
love her personality.
she can throw fun shade, which is why I feel like Portia has warmed up to her because she's like, "Oh, I can actually like go back and forth with her and we can like throw fun shade and like keep it lighthearted and keep it pushing and we laughing." Like that scene with Kelly, Portia and Kenya at the hair spa, I was kikiing.
Yeah,
Like,
or like with Kelly and Kenya at the hair spot together.
Yeah, I was kikiing. Like
It gave. Oh, like this is like they're opening up, like they're
right.
being humans. I will say I did not like Kelly at first because her confessionals, they wasn't given to me. But the personality outside of the confessionals, I love that Kelly. I did not care for. I'm ready for them to switch that up. I'm tired of the red. I'm tired of that little outdo.
We should be getting new confessional looks soon because
Yeah.
this is we're about to be in episode 5.
We're going into this was episode 5. We're going into episode 6.
Okay.
And yeah, we should be getting a lot new stuff. They still haven't gone on their first cast trip, so that should be coming up very, very soon. We know that Kenya is not gonna be up for that. I do have this game that is a really quick game that I wanted to start on the podcast, and it's called Scene Stealer of the Week. I want you guys both to tell us who do you think was the scene stealer this week of the Real Housewives of Atlanta? And it could be for different reasons.
The poster board.
The poster board.
The poster.
Yeah, that might be true.
This hoe. I don't know. Can you tell me? I don't know.
The poster board is for you too, Tori?
I can't disagree with that, but if I had to pick something else, actually the part about the hair care, the spa was the one that was Queen Charlotte with the hair.
I'm sorry, that entire hair show was a key.
It was
like
a
what?
Guys, you ruined it with the Brit crap.
Who do that?
Like when I was watching the event go down at Kenya Moore hair spa, I was like, wait, this hair spa is a key. The event is a key. These shows that they're doing, these drag pageants with hair, I said, this is everything. I would have loved to see Kenya backstage getting the girls ready to go and fix this and fix that and this outfit for you. Like I feel like we also didn't see a lot of that. That probably
the BTS, yeah.
If Kenya was filming like legit, they would have shown us that, or maybe she did shot it and we didn't see it. But
they said there was a soft launch that they did not show.
That was the one from last season.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That because she feels disrespected by that because even though they're showing,
maybe they won't talk about nothing. What the fuck was there to talk about?
So the poster board and
the who won the hair show?
Who won the hair show? Those were the scene stealers of the week from Jihad and Tori. Castmates, I want to know, who were your scene stealers of the week? Let us know in the comments because I really need to know. That's it for episode 5, and woo! It gave everything: drama, apologies, therapy, and the end of the Kenya era, at least for now. Shout out to my guests for breaking it all down with me. I enjoyed this episode so much. So don't forget to like, rate, or subscribe. And remember, don't come for us unless we send for you.
For you.
Jahad, tell the people where to find you and what you're all about.
Please find me on all socials at the JC Carter Show. You can also look me up at Hopeless Romantic Society on YouTube. And then also, Angela, I did come for you. I'm so sorry. You can come for me, but
Tori,
I love you though.
Tell the people about you, Tori.
Yes, so you can find me weekly on No Chaser TV. We go live Wednesdays to do hot topics and gossip. And sometimes I pop in and out of other reviews as well. But I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. You can follow me there.
Period. Thank you guys so much. And to all of the castmates, again, follow us on Instagram at The Reality Rundown for all the latest and greatest on reality TV. And make sure to follow the podcast Reality Right After, because this is where we discuss the tea, the drama, the shade, the receipts, the arguments, where we give you analysis, where we give you the works cited, where we show you the proof, where we give you the journalism, honey. We do the work here, okay? So when you want reality right after, subscribe. I'll see you guys next week. I love you guys. Thank you, castmates. Love you so much. Bye.